It's rare that those who receive life-saving treatment come back to say thank you to those who administered the care. But that's just what 58-year-old Karen Connor of Lander, Wyoming did.
I'm very, very grateful. And it was everybody, honestly.
A critical care nurse herself for 28 years, Karen traveled back to St. George Intermountain Health to meet with the nurses, doctors, and the Life Flight team who took care of her after she survived a 40-foot fall in April 2023. Connor and her husband Clint and 3 dogs were on an evening walk along a trail in LaVerkin when she decided to investigate a smell over the side of a cliff.
Yes, my husband said I was about 10 feet from the edge of the cliff. And I remember him saying, "Be careful," and I apparently tripped and immediately went down on all fours, went on my stomach, and just slid right off the cliff. And I don't remember anything until I woke up on the bottom. I was laying on my stomach, and I knew my right leg hurt really bad. It felt like it was twisted backwards.
Her husband Clint said it took about an hour from the time he called 911 for a search and rescue to get her up the cliffside and onto the air flight. Her memories of that day are still a bit foggy.
Honestly, as a nurse, I know how bad that accident could have been, and it was just crazy lucky that I didn't have a brain injury. No internal organs were injured, no cracked ribs even, just the right leg, the left ankle, the head, the neck was broken. But I could still feel everything, and I'm still moving, so I'll take it any day.
And as for the smell she was looking for?
It was a cow who apparently took a similar trajectory that I did and was less successful.
Karen took a stroll with her caregiver team out to the helicopter she was airlifted in to the hospital that day. While Karen doesn't remember much, she does recall some moments in flight.
I kind of remember you being, I want to say here, and I remember your voice over here.
So, both broken legs, very confused, and then anytime someone falls that hard, we always worry about the neck. So even though we didn't know it was broken, that was always a concern of ours. So.
After 7 surgeries in 7 months and multiple physical therapy sessions over the last year and a half, Karen is finally on the road to recovery. Despite all she's been through, Karen isn't one to give up her love of hiking and now walking. She said she's about 85% recovered and is doing all she can to continue to heal.
Some issues with my knee still, but I've been doing weightlifting, Peloton, walking. I did a 6K trail run that I walked with poles, so my surgeon didn't get mad at me. I did that on June 8th. That was my goal, to have fun, finish, and not get hurt. And I managed to do all 3 and did it in 1 hour 23 minutes. So not too bad, at elevation, over 6,000 feet, so that wasn't too awful bad.
And she says the trust she's gained from the doctors is also what brought her back on an 8-hour drive to St. George Intermountain.
I really wanted to come back down and have Dr. Butterfield check out his work and Dr. Judd's work, because they both worked on my leg. I trust their team implicitly. And honestly, the leg was so damaged, I really just don't want to muddy the waters, if that makes any sense. They know exactly what it looked like from day one, and I think that they're the best people to look at it and move forward with whatever.
She's also very thankful for her husband Clint, seen holding one of 3 Aussies on the trail that day when she slipped.
One of them he left on top of the cliff for search and rescue to see her, and he said she'll be looking right where she is, and she stayed there until they all showed up, and then he brought the other 2 down. He was able to scramble down to where I was and hold me and keep me from moving anymore.
Even though this was an accident, her advice to others out on a walk or hike?
Go with somebody else. Because if I had not had my husband with me, I probably would have been hanging out with the cow for I don't know how long.
This is one story that turned out for the better.
There's a few that don't make it by the time we leave, and those are hard, and then there's a few that don't make it once they're in the hospital, and we always will recount and wonder what could have been done differently, what could we have done differently. So it's nice to see that what you did worked.
From St. George Intermountain Regional Hospital, Melissa Anderson, Community Education News.